Dr. Precious, say hi. Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
Dr. Precious Wagwai. Don't forget you can call the number 091-620-113. What question do you have on tuberculosis? Our doctor is here to answer your question. All right, so you earlier, before we went on the break, you mentioned the signs and symptoms of tuberculosis, not even latent tuberculosis right now, because like you said, the latent tuberculosis does not show any warning, no sign, and nothing. So now let's talk about how it can be treated before it becomes dangerous.
So like I already explained, it can be treated before it becomes dangerous if it is diagnosed on time.
Early.
You see, latent tuberculosis can be treated. I have given the medication. You can use rivampin. I have advised that people should do the test, and then there are treatments that ranges from 6 to 9 months. There is that of 4 months. The most people I have treated, they've been treated within 4 months on rivampin, especially if they test positive to latent tuberculosis. It doesn't have signs, like we said, no symptoms visible. But if you have come in contact with someone that has full-blown tuberculosis, then you should have a test done, because this is very, very important.
Now, so if someone is diagnosed with latent tuberculosis, how should they talk to people about it? Because this kind of shall I say infection or illness? Yes, like you said, it's not contagious.
It's not contagious.
The latent is not contagious, but tuberculosis is active for itself.
So let me drop something heavy here.
Okay.
For those who love kissing, you meet somebody and you are ready to kiss. I'm not going to rate it. I'm just going to say it raw. Please kiss with caution. You see somebody coughing heavily, and there are signs of blood stain, and you are still in love.
Should they not love the person still?
No, love, but love with wisdom. I've just told you that it can be contracted through droplets.
Yeah.
Either through sneezing, coughing. You see, so and then you are now intentional to put your mouth and have mouth to mouth. In medicine right now, when you want to resuscitate, there is nothing like mouth to mouth respiration anymore. Yes, there's nothing like that anymore. So we need to keep creating the awareness. Please, guys, you need to put out the hashtag. You need to let people know there is something called latent tuberculosis, and it's more dangerous. From my rating as Dr. Precious, I rate latent tuberculosis more dangerous than even HIV, because HIV can be managed with antiretroviral drugs, and as much as you're taking it, your CD4 count will show and you'll be good. All right. But with latent tuberculosis, if you don't know, the day it becomes active, you can go from 0 to 100. Like I said, in 4 days the person is gone. It becomes full-blown. The immune system is weak. The person gets into critical condition. Before you know what, now at that point he starts distributing it. So if we want to reduce the amount of people with tuberculosis in our nation, in our state, in our environment, we must be intentional about passing the information about latent TB. People just have to know.
All right, you heard from the doctor. For some of you who love kiss, because we have both the Yoruba listeners and the English listeners here on Fresh 105.3 FM Lagos.
All right.
Tuberculosis like we call ló máa ń pè. Kí ni ikọ́ ife? Can you explain that in Yoruba? Can you try?
Okay, can I explain first of all in Chinese language? Then I come back to Yoruba.
Okay, maybe I should help you. Then you can come in between.
Okay, let me try. So, latent tuberculosis, ikọ́ ife, olóúnjẹ bacteria tó ṣì ń sùn lára èèyàn.
Kò ní fi ara hàn ẹ́, kò ní wúkọ́.
Ó máa farapa mọ́ bẹ́yẹn. Ó wà ń bẹ́ o, but ẹ lè mọ̀. Tẹ́ bá lọ wo àwọn dókítà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ lè gbọ́ pé wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ latent TB. Information ẹ̀ kò sí ń ta.
Àwọn èèyàn ò
mọ̀. Ìgbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ kínní, àwọn èèyàn wá ń pè mí pé doctor, ẹ ṣọ́ pé kínní yìí wà ń ta. Mo ní ẹ lọ check o. Gbogbo èèyàn tó wà ní West Africa, gbogbo wa a wà susceptible.
Lọ́ni ikọ́ ife tẹ́ pé kò show pé àwọn ní symptoms, wọn ò wúkọ́.
Èmi gan bí mo ṣe fine tó báyìí. Ẹ̀yin gan mọ̀ pé mo rẹwà. Èmi gan wọ́n tún check me, wọ́n tún sọ pé Dr. Precious, we have to place you on rifampin. Now it doesn't stop, kò stop yín láti máa ṣiṣẹ́ o. Kò dàbí àwọn is not something, but the fact that pé ẹ̀ ń gbé ní West Africa, you are already susceptible. So a gbọ́dọ̀ máa check ara wa, daddy wa, mommy wa, àwọn ọmọ wa tó bá ti ń wúkọ́ pé ìwúkọ́ yẹn ó ti wá ń gbẹnu sókè ó ti wá ó loud ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré lọ sí hospital ká má máa lọ sí pharmacy ẹ jọ chemist kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ máa lọ sí chemist ṣe test kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ sí chemist. That is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Outside the country, there is something called controlled drug. No pharmacy will give you a controlled drug without doctor's prescription. In Nigeria, you can go over the counter and get Augmentin, which is a problem. You become antibiotic resistant, so when they rush you into the hospital because you collapse or something, we can't treat you. Important. I was also on that page, thinking of sharing that with you.
Yeah.
So you can get tested by what I call the TST. TST is tuberculin skin test. All right. So that's the first way you can get tested to be sure that you don't have this bacteria. And then you also have the IGRAs. You can have the IGRA done, whereby an X-ray is carried out to determine, and then you can also have a blood test done just to be sure that you are on a safe side. And this is very, very vital as Nigerians.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Odofin Bamidele, and I'm calling from Lagos.
That's
All right,
my friend. That's my friend.
Oh,
Accounting. That's my Accounting International.
thanks a lot for calling.
Yeah.
a lot.
Love this program.
Thanks a lot.
And
Thank
you
you.
people are doing well. You people are doing well. It's a very good
Shout
program.
out to you. Shout out to
Thanks
you,
a lot, sir.
Accountant.
Thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate you, sir. Regards to your
very much for
family.
the program. So I would just like to ask this simple question: that
All right.
what are the signs can we see to confirm that this is a tuberculosis infection?
All right. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You become susceptible when you live in this part of the world. So this is me saying that you go do a test, especially when you know that you're from this part of the world. Go and do a test, go and do a checkup, so you are sure that you do not have latent TB, because when it becomes full-blown TB, it can take you from point A to point Z. But the symptoms of tuberculosis itself are, number one, persistent cough that lasts between 2 to 3 weeks. And that's why I said in Yoruba, that cough that you start feeling pain around your rib cage, around your chest, when you start feeling the cough and you're coughing for a very long time, you need to go do a checkup. Number two, if you're coughing up blood or you have blood stains when you cough, you need to check. Number three, unhealthy weight loss. When your weight starts dropping, people start complaining, Abi, you don't get them in pigeon. You know what I'm talking about? Then you've done HIV test, is negative, then you know the other test to do. Number four is loss of appetite. You can no longer eat. You don't feel the need to eat anymore. You want to eat, but you cannot. Number five is fever. Usually, you start having fever and it worsens at night. During the night time, your body becomes very hot. Then you know that's another symptom. And then number six, when you begin to sweat a lot in the night. Even though you are in a cold environment, you find yourself sweating heavily. You get up, the whole bed is soaked with sweat. Then you know that there is
Something is wrong.
And then the final symptom I'm going to give in this station this afternoon is when you start having fatigue or general weakness. You wake up in the morning and you feel like you've worked for 72 hours. Meanwhile, you're just waking up. Don't forget, I am not saying one of the symptoms is a sign. I am saying all these are pointers to the sign that you could have tuberculosis. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, doctor.
When you just see someone, like I'm very critical now, especially with those young guys who are very susceptible when they see beautiful ladies with the big figure, and then they just want to pray on her, they want to kiss her. Be very careful, because you may JT and cut short your life. Can I say that in Yoruba?
Go ahead now. You mixed it.
Ole JT. So you could endanger your
It means
life.
we need to be very, very careful. You were saying something, we are having a very important discussion, and inside this important discussions also crop up. You're saying something before we pick that call, saying some of the tests we should do before you say
I do. Yes.
So let's hear it. We are learning.
Okay, I'll give it to you for free.
Before you give it to me for free. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes. Yes, sir. Sir. Hello, sir.
He has passed his message. He's just reiterating what I said. The people should be careful when they kiss. Don't just kiss
In
strangers.
fact, it's so funny now, Dr. Precious, that in this world that we are, you just have to be very careful.
Yes.
Even sexual wise, you have to be very careful. This is not the time where you just see any woman and you just want to do. This is not the time when you just see any man and you want to do. Just be sure. In fact, before you even say I do now, it's not even when you should now test it. You have to test before you.
Yeah, before you say I do, you have to do the
You
test.
understand? Before you, not, the I do we are talking about our marriage.
Yes.
Even if it's not about marriage, before you start saying you want to start having any, sexual relationship with someone, you have to test now. Oh.
Yes.
Even before you say I do. Now imagine now, do you know the funniest part? Before you say I do, you will test, have you?
Yes.
But imagine you've been cutting and you've been doing all sorts. When you now want to get married,
No.
You not test.
No. That's penny wise, pound foolish. I say to guys, men know who they want to marry. So immediately you meet the woman you want to marry, be intentional. Take her straight to see the doctor. I love Great House Mandate Commission and the Winners Commission. Before they marry anybody, they make sure these tests are carried out.
HIV,
Those who are at risk are
diabetes.
people, yes, HIV, people on immunosuppressants, people with diabetes, people who have HIV, people who have conditions that will always bring your immune system down. And so when those people they don't give attention to their health, it becomes a problem. That's why I always say, when you clock 40, be intentional about your health. You need to look out for the supplements you should use. Another very important information I want to put out there is, this is very vital. We need to be cautious about life expectancy. Life expectancy in Nigeria right now, if you Google it, is between 52 and 54, which is very alarming. But life expectancy in the UK is about 85, 87. Now, that alone tells you that we make trivial our health a lot. I need Lati ba caution for health very important.
Yeah, we need to take our health as a matter of important.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for trying as much as possible, to also speak in Yoruba. I really do appreciate it because of our Yoruba listeners. All right, I'll open the phone lines now because I know people want to ask questions. I want your
You need to be intentional. That's why, you see, time will fail me, Auntie Kemi. I would have loved to tell people the various tests they should do before they say I do. You see, medically there are some
before
tests.
they say
Yes, you have to be intentional. There are tests you must carry out. Don't be so much in love that you follow. Let's hear.
Hello. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, my name is Kadebola. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
All right, sir. Your question, please, sir.
All right. Where can we have the test? Do the diagnosis.
All right, doctor.
Yeah, we can have it in standard hospitals, especially our general hospitals. You can just walk into the general hospital, tell them you want to have a latent tuberculosis test carried out on yourself. Talk to the doctor. It will cost you nothing. You can't spend above 2,000 to 10,000. You will not spend beyond that, and prevention is better than cure.
Thank you so much. So
before the official test, you do your own checkup.
that is what I'm saying.
Do your own thing.
What I'm saying is, now you do the test before you say I do, before you get married.
Before you even propose. So let me tell you the test you
all
should
of this,
do.
Okay, go ahead.
So that we are conscious about it. Number one is the genotype test.
Yeah.
All right. The purpose of determining this is to be sure if the person has got the sickle cell disease. You want to know if you are compatible. If she's AS and you are AS, there is no road there. Because blood group one budget, genotype one budget AS, AS. If you are AS, you have to look for somebody that is AA, so you can be on a good slate. The next test that you need to carry out is the blood group and rhesus factor test. So genotype is the first, blood group is the next. Maybe you have need for blood transfusion. You have to know your blood group, and you must know if you're compatible with the person or not.
Doctor, you were saying something before we picked the call.
Yeah, so number one, I said the genotype test.
Yes.
Number two, I said the blood group or rhesus factor test. Number three, the HIV test. This is very important.
Very, very,
very important. This is vital. You must check to be sure
Yeah.
that your partner is not HIV positive. Number 4 is hepatitis B and C. They
I
are the
heard that is
two
very
dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah, it's even more dangerous than HIV.
Yeah, that was what I
Yes,
heard.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm telling you from the doctor's mouth, not horses. I'm not a horse. It's very dangerous. Number 5, I know people are not expecting me to say this, but I'm going to say it. You need to check mental health test so you don't marry a madman. There are so many madmen and mad women out there. You must be intentional. Do a mental health check.
Well, doctor, let us get it right. I know that that's just on a lighter note, because whenever people think of mental,
I'm not talking on a lighter note. Now, mental health is not that the person is mad.
Yeah,
no,
so
no,
I
no,
want
no,
us
no.
I want us to clear
Most
that.
people in Lagos State, when they do that test, they will discover they will score 10 over 100. So it doesn't mean that you are not mad. It just means that there's a lesser factor of those.
Oh my God.
But just a check. Our next point is fertility tests.
Very important.
Very, very important. When you get married, you are now crying. Oh, he has low sperm count, and she's not able to hold. All those will be taken care of if you have the fertility test done. It's not just for the women, because when you hear fertility, some people think only the women.
I agree with you.
No.
Yeah.
A man can be infertile. There is something we call erectile dysfunction. It falls under this category. We must be intentional. Number 7, STDs and STI. We need to check sexually transmitted diseases. You know them?
Yeah.
Chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, HIV, HPV. So we just have to be very careful. Number 8 now, you need to do the full blood count.
Yeah.
So that you understand your blood level, your PCVs. You need to do all that. Number 9, your blood sugar. You need to check. This will tell you if you're diabetic or not. So you know what to eat and what not to eat. This is very important. Number 9, the tuberculosis test. This comes in. Very, very important. If you want to do a general check, you need to do a tuberculosis screening. All right. And then finally, I call this genetic counseling. Now, genetic counseling entails seeing a doctor and talking about your family history so that we can know the best possible test for you and give counsel to your new life. And then check the traits in your wife to be and see if it's there. You see, these things, we usually cut corner in this part of the world. We just do HIV, we jump into marriage. But there are a lot of things we should do before saying I do. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, all these tests I've spoken about, they need to be done together, and the result needs to be shared openly and honestly. This is very, very vital. You know what I'm talking about. If any red flag is found, it doesn't necessarily mean that marriage is not going to take place. It only gives room for informed decision and proper medical planning.
Yeah.
That's my high point.
Yeah.
Informed decision, your partner is now aware, and then proper medical planning. You are intentional. I remember I had a couple, the lady tested positive to HIV, and the guy was negative, and the guy said, I will marry her. It doesn't matter what she has, I will marry her. As I speak with you, they have 2 kids.
Wow.
They're happily married. He said it, he will marry her. So don't hide the result. You know, there was a situation I found, the lady tested positive and she grabbed my leg and said, Doctor, this result must not get out. My husband to be must not hear. And I began to counsel her. It's not the end of the world. You will be more broken and be a worst of yourself if he finds out after
later.
the marriage. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, doctor. That's actually a very huge topic for another day. Thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you.
All right, we've come to the end of the program. You on the Health and Fresh 105.3 FM. Now, you guys be sure to join us again next week on the program from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.